Hey everyone, Edgar here, the host of Snug Wrestling. If you're looking to unwind without the hangover, check out Good Fuels. These are THC infused seltzers made with all natural ingredients, clean, crisp, and consistent every time. It's an easy, balanced way to relax, hang out with friends, or just vibe without the drawbacks of alcohol. And because you listen to Snug Wrestling, we got an exclusive offer for all of our listeners, 20% off at shop.getgoodfuels.com when you use promo code SNUG at checkout. That's shop.getgoodfuels.com, and you get 20% off with promo code SNUG at checkout. That's Good Fuels, real chill, no hangover, must be 21 and over.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Good evening. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Snug Wrestling. My name is Edgar. I am the host, and today is Thursday. Usually on Thursdays, Mr. Blood and I will go live on TikTok Live on our weekly one-on-ones to go over wrestling news, but today is a special edition of Snug Wrestling because we have a special guest today. And some of you guys might know him or recognize him from some of the movies he's been in. He's an actor, but he's not just an actor. He's also a lifelong pro wrestling fan, just like us. So everybody, please welcome our guest, James Broderick. James, thank you for being here with us, bro.
What's up, guys? I'm super happy to be here. This is my first podcast, wrestling podcast thing. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm really excited. Yeah.
Yep. Mr. Blair, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing really, really good. We got SmackDown tomorrow. We're 5 weeks out from Mania. I'm excited because we got a lot of stuff coming up. I'll tell you what I'm really looking forward to Monday, man. I can't wait. Roman Reigns will be on the show, so I can't wait to see how that continues. Brock Lesnar, wondering to see how much we're dragging out this open challenge. I feel like it's Oba. There's just so much. We got a women's intercontinental championship match. So there's a lot of excitement in the air for wrestling right now. But also I'm just excited because, to have such a cool guest like James here.
Thanks.
This is awesome. And wrestling is about legacy and lineage. And one thing I wanted to ask you was, you're the son of Matthew Broderick, very well-known actor, but you yourself are an amazing performer in your own right, and you're also a massive wrestling fan, which is kind of cool. When I don't know what it is, I love finding out when celebrities are wrestling fans, because I'm like, hell yes, it's not just for the common man. But my question is, what was it that got you into wrestling? What was it that triggered that for you? Did you watch it with your dad? Did you watch it with your uncle, your mom? How did that start for you?
No, I mean, first of all, I will say, I wouldn't say I'm in that much cool stuff. I hope I am one day. I've been lucky to do some cool parts, but I have a lot of great help, and I'm very grateful, but what's weird is no one in my family watches wrestling or encouraged me to, they don't hate it, but it's almost like so completely unrelated to the interests of the media interests of my family in whatever way, that it was nothing to do with that. I think I just remember that, I think everyone remembers the that kind of amazing little beginning period where you're young enough and you don't really know kayfabe versus whatever. And you almost, I'm always wishing I could just go back like that for a day or two. But I remember it might've been something as dumb as this, as it became available on Hulu, Wednesday night main event, something really small, where when I first was 10 or 11, or when you first start to get excited about when you're on the computer and no one's there, or you're watching whatever show you want, that it was just kind of like that. And maybe the fact that my mom would be like, what are you watching? Are you watching that? It's so weird. Maybe that made it encourage me a little bit in a way. I don't know, if that makes sense. But
the taboo of it,
maybe
it makes it more exciting. It's like oh, you want a cookie more only because it's in a cookie jar on a higher shelf.
Yeah,
not because
absolutely.
You want the cookie, you want to prove that you can have the cookie whether anybody tells you or not.
Yes, and I remember really well though that I one time my mom gave me like $15 of Apple money budget to rent 2 or 3 movies or shows because we had a long flight for like a trip somewhere. And she wanted me to get like some documentaries and stuff. And I remember she caught me on the plane watching like a SummerSlam or something. And I remember I got in big trouble.
That's
not really big trouble. But I remember for thinking, when your mom yells and there's a minute like where you still are like my life is over or something. Like, I don't think it came up again, but anyway, so yeah, that's a long-winded answer, but I'm one of those people when I get into something, I'm like that. So I'd go to like Ring of Honor shows. I've been hanging out like the Hammerstein Ballroom all the time. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was awesome. I got the luckiest thing was that I kind of got to be a bit of friends with this wrestler, Chris Hero, who he was, in WWE as well.
Yep.
He's a great guy. And he really was so nice to me. He still is. And one thing he did that was awesome that I still remember so well is when I was at, I think Hammerstein or something, I was near the front and he made sure that part of the brawl out of the ring would be near me. So some of his blood got on my shirt. And so I kept the shirt like that.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's awesome. Before I pass it back to Edgar, I just want to say, that I love that because everybody has their gateway into wrestling. There's something that does it. For me, it was my brother Brandon, right? And I remember what you're talking about. Like, you're right. You have that period of time of innocence when you believe what you're seeing, and that's the magic of pro wrestling, is that you're supposed to suspend your disbelief because okay, well, this is scripted, this isn't real. But God damn it, if I didn't believe Kane and Undertaker were really brothers, like, God damn it, if I didn't believe Triple H really turned on Shawn Michaels, like, like you believe, and that's the fun of it. It is a performance art, much like acting, much like anything. It's live theater, and it hurts, but it makes you feel stuff, and it's extremely addictive. And I used to professional wrestle myself, and so when I was doing it, I remember I was very big into theater in high school, very big in my early 20s. And when I found pro wrestling, I was like, this is giving me that high that I get when I'm on stage doing a musical or anything like that. But it's like the adrenaline of being on stage, but then it doesn't stop because you're getting hit and you're getting slammed and you're getting dropped. And now you have the waiting and the facials and the crowd is feeding you. Because when you're doing a musical, they're silent, they're appreciative. When you're doing wrestling, they're invested, they're involved. And it doesn't just drag in the audience member as the performer. You feel like you are the only place in the world that exists in those moments. And I love knowing that. I'm fortunate that I got to experience that from an audience and an in-ring talent perspective. But I think that's awesome. Because I love hearing how people found it. What about you, Snug? How do you feel about that? What was that like for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I took it for granted when I was a kid, man, because I took a lot of periods off and on where I would watch it and I would stop watching it. And now as a grown adult, like, I feel weird if I don't, if I'm not like in the loop, if I'm not in the know of what's happening. So yeah, I can definitely, I wish I can go back in time, man, and relive all those great moments as a kid watching wrestling and all that good stuff. But I'm making up for it now, I guess, is what I'd like to tell myself. But James, you're in New York, right?
Yes.
You're out there right now. New York is huge. The wrestling scene out there, I feel like it's a lot bigger in the East Coast compared to where I'm at over here in the West Coast in California. And you mentioned, what is it, the Hammerstein?
Yeah, I think it's like the Manhattan Center now, but yes.
So you used to go to a lot of shows back then. How about now? Do you still try to go to as many wrestling shows as you can?
Oh, if I'm invited, I'm going to go, like, for sure. The only thing that could ever stop me is, like, the price of the ticket being something that I can't say is worth the difference of watching it at home. But that is it. Like, if it's in New York
WWE.
And AEW, I'll go to their shows. I mean, I like AEW a lot too. Of course, I grew up with WWE, and that's probably the most. But Chris, like I mentioned, he's invited me to I got to go to like Full Gear in New Jersey a couple months ago. I went to some of the Christmas pre-tapings which were at the Manhattan Center for AW, which were great. Yeah, dude. I mean, I love. It's not like I think New Yorkers walk around like talking about wrestling. Like, I mean, it's wrestling. You still have to find people that are into it usually. But it took me until later to realize how big New York was historically for that. And, I mean, now it sounds obvious, like Madison Square Garden being what it was and Paul Heyman being from the Village. But yeah,
Yeah, that was going to be one of my other questions, because you mentioned Ring of Honor, who's now owned by AEW and the Khans, right? I was going to ask, we talked about WWE a little bit before, but yeah, it's cool to hear that you're also into AEW, because there's a lot of wrestling fans that, they like to stick to one or the other, so that's cool that you watch other stuff too. Have you heard of the Fourth Rope? I think it's based out there in New Jersey.
No.
That's also another one too. I think it's owned by rapper Westside Gunn, and he has like Enzo Amore, Zilla Fatu, and those guys.
That's sick.
So yeah, you should definitely look into that. They have some pretty crazy shows sometimes out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What about AAA? Do you watch AAA now that they're owned by WWE, or is there just like too much wrestling for you at some point too?
It might be too much for me to tell you that I literally watch AAA, but I don't know. I've noticed like it doesn't seem like other people might agree, and maybe now I'm jumping into just current WWE topics. So I don't want to get us off like track.
No, you're good. Go for it.
I seem to be more struck and like really excited by the two El Grande Americanas than everyone else. Like it seems like when I watch Raw, or I mean, I know in AAA they're obsessed with the Kaiser one or whoever he is, but when I watch WWE like Raw, or I read like Twitter, people are like, "What the fuck is like? What is this?" Like, and I'm like, "What?" Like, I love it.
Like, it's the heart of pro wrestling. Like,
I love the story. I think it's hilarious and good.
Like Doink the Clown, hello. Like, that's quintessential fake Undertaker, fake Diesel, fake Kane, fake Razor Ramon. Like, that is so pro wrestling coded, the El Grande Americano story. I just wish it was getting more fanfare on Raw. Like in AAA, it's the biggest thing ever.
But I mean, how cool is it? Like, you're telling me in AAA, they face and heel the opposite guys. Like, I mean, that's got to be the coolest thing going on in the world. Like,
to me,
it's why Americans can't realize that. I don't know.
To me, it's cool because it is so hard just to get someone over in any capacity on any kind of main roster WWE television. You're telling me in 2026, and by the way, no other company is doing this, where they own two separate promotions, and on one promotion, they are literally working each other opposite heel face. And on the second promotion they own, there's a whole slew down there of story going on we don't see on the main roster. And they're working opposite reverse face and heel. And down there, it's the biggest story in the entire company. But on main roster, it's almost heatless. That is
so weird.
Yeah. There seems to be some confusion about that too, because we posted a few clips on our socials talking about this, and there's some fans that were like, "Oh, why do you guys keep saying Chad Gable is the heel Americano in the United States?" I'm like, I'm pretty sure he is, right?
We've also been paying attention, but yeah, he is, because he was a heel before he left for his shoulder injury. When he came back, the first thing he did was go after El Grande Americano. That's Kaiser. Now, Ludwig is clearly the heel on the main roster.
Maybe.
The first thing he did, maybe it's Kaiser, but the first thing I know that walk anywhere, but the first thing he did was he went after them. Then he saved Penta, a baby face, and then he tagged with Penta and he worked and wrestled in the ring a baby face style. Yeah. He's a baby face. I don't know how they're confused. It's like you're either not watching or you're a casual. And you're a very, very casual to not understand the dynamic of the wrestlers and how they work opposite, because it's very plain as day. And if you look at AAA footage, Kaiser or El Grande Americano current, dude is the biggest star in the entire company whenever Dominic's not around. Like it's crazy to me because I used to complain, and I'm gonna go out of this into the real shoot here. Ludwig Kaiser was one of my favorite guys a year and a half ago when he was doing the IC stuff. I was rooting for this heel run. I was like, yes, give it to him. Let him. He's so good, so underrated. And then we don't see him for weeks. And then all of a sudden he's repackaged as this when Chad goes out injured. And I was like, no, you strapped him with the comedy gimmick. What are you doing? He's right there. Because I was already spending years watching them underuse Chad. And I was like, finally, Chad's getting a heel run, his own stable. And then they gave him that. And I was like, what are you doing? But now, watching Kaiser not only come into his own, going from being someone that was struggling to someone who is the best act in a whole promotion, in a whole country, who is a German guy playing a Mexican guy, wrestling in Mexico, and is now the biggest Mexican modern star in the biggest Mexican promotion. It is so crazy, but it is so cool. And I am so happy for them. And I just wish WWE could book the main roster part of this feud the way that Taker, because Undertaker, Mark Calloway, is one of the people who helps run and produce AAA, are treating them down there.
I know.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So true.
How, you can be, again, you can be over in one town and then the next day you can be in a completely different town and just be completely hated, It's pretty impressive. But yeah, man, that was one of the things I was kind of confused about because I'm like, yeah, man, I'm pretty sure the roles are reversed, right, when it comes to those two guys. But switching gears here a little bit, well, not really, from one interesting gimmick to another. I got to be honest with you, James, the IWC, the internet wrestling community, is a little bit upset with us right now. And I blame Mr. Blood. Mr. Blood hates Danhausen, James.
Oh, fuck off. I never said that. See, listen, James, you seem like a very intelligent young man. You got a whole big brain on your shoulders. Let me take this. I'm gonna
wait, but before you do that, I want to hear James's thoughts on Danhausen first.
No, actually, no. I want you to say your thoughts first.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to bury
that will be my biggest request as the guest. I want to hear what you think about Danhausen first because I'm afraid you will. I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah,
all right.
Because I made a whole blood drop episode. I don't know if you've ever seen our show prior to being on with us.
Just some of the clips after we.
Okay, so what we do here is I do a segments every week called the Blood Drop, where they are 3 to 4 minute digestible pieces of content on a topic of wrestling. And one of them was, if WWE fans get mad if you don't understand Danhausen. Because on Monday, there was a segment where Danhausen cursed original El Grande Americano. And I said, in our review, I thought it was dumb. Because I said, but why? Original El Grande Americano is a babyface. Why would the babyface curse the babyface when Chad wasn't mean to him? He just said, hey, I don't have time to talk right now. I've got a big IC title match. And he goes, you are cursed. But here's the thing. I thought it was dumb, one, because of that, and two, because there was confusion because some of the broadcasts in North America didn't show before ad break that Ryo and Bravo attacked Chad.
Right.
He saw it on the West Coast. I didn't see it even on the replay. So, and I said, well, the only people that were in the back of that were Kyrie and Asuka way in the background standing there. Now, here's the thing. I said, well, it's kind of stupid because it undermines the curse. One, is the curse actually real or is it bullshit? Or two, is it just a bunch of random occurrences and circumstances that end up happening at the exact same time? Because what happened that we didn't know is that Ryo and Bravo wind up tying Chad Gable Americano up to have him miss the match so Kaiser can take his place. Because in AAA, Chad did it to Kaiser a few weeks ago, and this was payback.
Right.
But if you don't watch AAA, you don't get rewarded with the knowledge of that story thread on the main roster. So I said, it feels like it undermines the curse because it's either one, it's bullshit, or two, it's happy accidents every single time. And I got ripped to pieces.
What was everyone so mad at you for saying?
Oh, bro, just
what did they say?
You clearly just don't understand Danhausen. Oh, say you don't understand Danhausen. I wish just these WWE casuals, digested more than just WWE, and they would know who real wrestling fans know who Danhausen is. I was like, dude, the guy wrestled for AEW from 2022 to December 30th, 2023 was his last match that he ever wrestled in AEW. He wrestled 21 matches on 24 appearances, and he had spent 2 years plus sitting on the sidelines until his contract expired last month. I stopped watching AEW in 2022. And they said, well, if you watched Ring of Honor, you know, I used to watch the hell out of Ring of Honor, but he was only in Ring of Honor for 2 years. 2019 to 2021, and part of that was COVID-19, where they weren't even running shows.
I don't even think he was wrestling that much either.
They were shut down. ROH was one of the companies that didn't do shows, but were kind enough to actually pay their people for sitting at home. They were one of the few wrestling companies that were willing to do that. Which is amazing of them. And this is pre-AEW purchase. In fact, COVID is what led into the purchase because it affected their business so much. But the point is, I never said I don't like Danhausen. In fact, in the clip, Edgar screwed me because he's a Mr. Contrarian, and he literally edited out the part where I said, hey, I actually like Danhausen. I think he's entertaining. I just don't understand this.
But
and
even
they tore me apart.
But even after us explaining everything, and even in that clip, you know, it's pretty straightforward. We're not like bashing Danhausen, but yet people are still like, oh, you guys just don't like him. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's not what we're saying. Listen to the clip, pay attention. Anyway.
Yeah, I think Cornette actually said that this week, that he didn't like the writing of that scene. He wasn't even talking about Danhausen. I mean, we gotta have, people gotta be able to, there should always be room to say what you think, how you think a backstage segment could have gone. And it doesn't always have to do with the wrestler. I will say, I love Danhausen. And I do think that the best thing about the curse is that that's actually how a lot of curses are, I think, is like, you can't tell if what happened was coincidence or not. Like, I think a lot of times in AEW, he'd curse someone in the ring and then the other guy in the match would hit their finisher on that guy. But then it's like sort of like a Greek or Roman epic where, did the guy hit the finisher on him because he was distracted by looking at how he's getting cursed, or was that because it's the curse? I mean, I think that's the defense, right? Or that's the
cause your own foil.
Or yeah, who knows? You know, like, is it destiny because you heard that it was, or because it was? But I do love Danhausen. I do agree, though. I mean, about, you know, it required a lot of someone to know it. Anyway, they should have had a way where people should have been able to see what happened backstage.
Or show us a clip.
I think that's inarguable, right?
Show us a clip of someone finding him tied up right after the match.
Because, in fact, the crowd didn't even seem to understand at first that it wasn't him. Like, I was watching the East Coast thing live, obviously, and there was like when he came out, I don't think people realized it wasn't him until about 4 minutes in or something. I mean, then maybe that's also the problem with, like,
felt flat. Like,
yes, and maybe that's the problem of these they need the WWE productions need to get those guys over in such a way that kids know the difference between the two El Grandes, which I can see how it's hard, but on the other hand, it actually shouldn't be, because when I describe what I like about the two El Grandes, it's actually the most kid accessible storyline ever, like it or casual is what I mean. I don't know why I'm saying just kid. You understand what I mean though?
Yeah, like what? First off,
it actually totally is a funny thing. Right?
The other one's 6'3". I don't understand how one is slender, the other one's built like a shit brick house. Like, I don't.
So it's a shame that people can't, that they haven't communicated, that it hasn't caught on with, you know, the people in Portland or Seattle or Georgia enough that the minute someone named that walks out, they can't tell. But that's
not to mention the Titantron. Yeah. The Titantron says original El Grande Americano. The other one just says El Grande Americano.
Remember when the Miz did that thing where he came out pretending to be The Rock and everyone thought it was him for like the first
that was so awesome.
2 minutes or something like that.
That was the most atrocious bald cap I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
like what I find funny is it's not like they're trying to, it's like they know that you're in on the joke, but because they know the characters are being portrayed so well, they're like, because we had a lot of people in our comments who were like, can you please stop saying that El Grande is Chad or Kaiser? You don't have any proof. And I'm like, I do. I'm like, no, like when Chad got injured, Alpha Academy did a whole backstage interview where they were asked by Jackie Redmond, who do you think is this new El Grande Americano? And Ivy just flat out goes, what? It's Ludwig Kaiser. What are you talking about?
Oh, don't be a sourpuss, Blood. Have a little fun.
Oh, please. Like, but the thing is, I love it because that stuff will always have a place in pro wrestling. It's so very carny. It's so wrestling coded that I could never hate it because you need the biggest demographic for WWE's product, at least, is kids. And they've got to have something that's whimsical and fun and cool and adorable for them. Why do you think Hornswoggle was such a goddamn hit for so many years? Like, I mean, everybody above the age of 6 knew there's no such thing as leprechauns. However, you still loved and popped for him when he came out from under the ring, when he gave Finlay the shillelagh, when he turned out to be the Raw GM, the anonymous GM. It was the dumbest shit ever 14 years ago, but it was still funny and the crowd still popped for it. Sometimes you have to let that whimsy, goofy stuff happen and just take it as, it's entertaining. But when it comes to a writing standpoint, it's hard for me to be entertained if I don't have the pieces to the puzzle that tell me what's going on story-wise. Because if I don't watch AAA, I got no idea what the hell happened to Chad. And then you don't show me a clip of him being found tied up. I'm assuming the curse did something. But then people are saying, well, on my broadcast, I saw Rio and Bravo. And it's like, well, this whole half of the country didn't. So,
dude,
you got to do better production.
You have to go back and rewatch that video. I mean, that interview backstage, dude. I think you're confusing. I think you're confusing the interview with that one with the one that they did with Kofi and Javon, because that's the one where the Kabuki Warriors were in the back arguing.
Are you sure? Because I watched it twice. I could be wrong. Maybe I need a third, but
I am positive, bro.
My broadcast, I never saw Rio and Bravo. James, did you? Did you ever see Rio and Bravo?
Not behind Danhausen and Gable? I don't think so, but maybe I should rewatch it.
But you guys definitely should.
Okay.
All right.
Wait. Last thing, because I know we shouldn't spend more than 20 minutes just talking about Grande Americanos, but the big question is how does it culminate? Is it at WrestleMania or is it at a Triple Mania? Like, and what's what I want to hear what you guys think, because I don't have an opinion on it yet. I can't decide. Is the way to do it to unmask Gable or Kaiser or both or not?
I think because Kaiser has done such a great job with it, I genuinely think he's done a much better job with it since Chad left and Chad was given to do with it. I think they let Ludwig go so much further with it than Chad. Because when Chad did it, it was just a means for him to get around the rules and wrestle more than once a night so he could get another opportunity that he might have messed up before. With Ludwig, it became a whole persona. It had its own packaging. It had its own music. It had its own henchmen. He's done such a good job with it. If it culminates in a mask versus mask, I 100% believe, even though I'd love to see Kaiser eventually back on a singles run in a serious run, he's done such a great job with him. Let him run the road with it. Let him unmask Chad. Let him beat Chad. Let him win. And then let Chad have the serious mid-card to upper mid-card run that we've all been waiting on for 10 years. And then let Kaiser just keep killing it down in Mexico and then eventually get over on the main roster. Because I think they need more heels, really good heels on the main roster anyway. So let Kaiser keep doing it. But I think I don't know if because the main roster, it's so heatless for the audience on the main roster. I don't know if WrestleMania is the best spotlight for it. I definitely think Triple Mania, but I do think they need to highlight whatever happens there heavily on main roster TV.
Yeah, they better.
So we know why this is Chad Gable again and not in a mask. Because since he's come back, there hasn't been anything that we've seen even remotely. He hasn't even acknowledged Alpha Academy or whoever his team is. But he hasn't acknowledged the Creeds or Ivy at all. And he's been back for 2 months. And the last thing he said to him when he left was, hey, hold the fort for me when I get back, or when I'm gone. And when I get back, you guys better be dripped out in gold, in quotes. And they've quietly moved Ivy away from the Creeds, and he hasn't interacted with them at all. So I'm thinking this is going to be a full, fresh restart for him. Unmask him. Let Kaiser keep going. That's my thing. But I think Triple Mania is much better for end exposure, personally.
Yeah, Triple Mania. I think it has to be a AAA thing in Mexico. The fans just care more about this whole El Grande Americano thing way more down there than they do here in the United States. So it makes more sense for them to do it in Mexico, I think. Yeah. A good question though, dude.
Does that inform any feeling in you? What do you think now that you've heard our explanation?
Where would you like to see it?
I think that makes the most sense. I think the only issue or potential issue is does that mean you sacrifice the moment where Gable, if Gable getting unmasked could be a huge moment, ironically, for him getting over with the Raw, the WWE fans, where that could be so.
That is true.
We're watching him get unmasked and his reaction maybe not being what you expect.
That's actually really
what point. Propels him to be what everyone thinks, I think, which is an Intercontinental champion, right? I've always just been
workhorse.
Champion. This guy should be the Intercontinental champion. This guy should be the Intercontinental champion. So I wonder if that's the only but everything I agree. But I do wonder, I would hope it doesn't mean that nothing came out of him getting, you know what I mean? That could be a moment that actually, weirdly, if they play it really complicated and well, it could almost help him turn face, overall.
It could fully help him get over.
I don't know.
It could help him get over with the audience. Yes. Yeah, no, I think you're right. It almost feels like a damned if you do, because they missed their opportunity when they didn't have him take the IC title off of Gunther and in that 666-day reign, giving it to Sammy last minute just because it was Sammy's name power on the card versus Chad, a story they had been telling since that previous fall. They missed the mark. I definitely think you make a great argument, because you're right. Main roster TV is all about the moments. That's WWE's big thing. We make moments. We're a moments company. And you do run the risk of, AAA is going to eat the hell out of it. They're going to eat it up. But you're talking 90,000 people at WrestleMania. And you're saying that, we don't do this giant reveal in front of an audience to be it's Chad. And then the kids can go, oh, it's that guy. And, and everybody knows, but it's the moment of the fans being rewarded for their patience on the grandest stage of them all. You make a very, very, very good point.
Yeah, his match with Gunther that he won by count out was such a great, that is my dream kind of during the week non-pay-per-view match for, you know what I mean? You know, when you just watch the greatest Intercontinental match on a weekday on TV, and you're just so happy.
If they
when he suplexed Gunther, he Germaned him to the bell area and then got back in the ring.
It was great. It's one of those, if they booked Chad seriously, that would be an all-time classic. Those two really getting to go, Chad not running away or being the consummate underdog. Holy crap, you're talking about bell to bell.
Insane.
That would be insane. The best match I've seen out of Gunther in the last 3 years was him versus Punk at SummerSlam, because we got a real wrestling match, a real wrestling competition against Gunther, real technical stuff. And you're right. You make extremely good points. And God, man, now I really want to just play 2K26 and do Chad Gable versus Gunther.
I just got the game. It's lit. It's really fun.
Yeah, I'm freaking loving it. Doing the gauntlet for a showcase right now. I've been on it for like 3 hours, taking breaks because I got to run the gauntlet on hard mode. Got to beat everybody with one CM Punk and no restarts. You got to be 20 people straight on hard.
Really hard. The only advantage you have is that you can keep stocking up finishers.
I've been beating the crap out of the ref and then running away.
Oh, that's actually pretty smart.
I got a little video I want to show you guys because I want to get your opinion on something, fellas.
Yeah.
So
Can you show us?
yeah, I think so. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm gonna put it up in the screen here in a little bit. But first, some context. The WWE recently fired somebody from AAA. Unfortunately, he was a good friend of the show, El Niño Hamburguesa. I got to interview him a couple months ago, and he was a really cool dude. But he got fired because I guess he put his hands on a fan sitting ringside at a house show, which is, in the WWE, it's a big no-no, right? But in Mexico, it's a completely different story out there, man. Like, there's a lot more fan engagement out there in Mexico. However, I feel like El Niño Hamburguesa maybe forgot that, hey, this isn't the little leagues anymore. I'm actually working for WWE now. The video went viral. The WWE people got a hold of it, and then he got fired, unfortunately. But I'm going to try to play the clip here, and then just tell me what you guys think. Was it too much? Did the WWE go too far for firing him? Or just tell me what you guys think. So I'm going to play it real quick. Were you guys able to see it?
Yeah, but at the same time, hard to find the context, right? Because I want to give this guy a little benefit of the doubt. Part of me thinks that was a worked elbow. Because
it was working.
He did not
elbows.
full force it. That was a full. I could see him pulling back because if I'm doing a worked elbow, I'm stopping here.
Mm-hmm.
If I really wanted to elbow someone, and you already know I'm a black belt, if I really want to back elbow someone, bam, that's where I'm going. I'm not stopping here. He did it just enough for the tricep meat to bop, bop, no
they
bone.
were working elbows. He was sitting on the fan. He was sitting on the fan, doing the working elbow, but everyone around was laughing. Like,
yeah, it seemed jovial.
Yeah.
Like my opinion, because I really want to know what James thinks. My opinion is two things in particular. One, as someone who's a former wrestler, we are told implicitly, if you engage the crowd, you cannot physically actually, like, unless it is self-defense, like someone's coming at you, they are yanking your hair, they are trying to push you down the stairs in an arena or a stadium or a wherever barn we're in, whatever, then it's self-defense. But at the same time, they're going to go, well, one, why were you sitting full weight on somebody's lap in the audience? You're a very big guy. She could have been pregnant, could have had a leg injury, couldn't breathe. Maybe she felt like you were invading her space, and the other guy, maybe he was like, get off her, get off, like trying to piss you off, whatever. Either way, one, he's already in the wrong because he's physically putting his like 300-pound frame on top of a crowd, on an audience member. You could injure somebody just by sitting on them. It doesn't matter. You can do it. It's an insurance issue of hell. Two, the moment, even if people are having fun, you're still physically, and I mean this not in a sexual promiscuous way, you are forcing yourself on to someone because you are taking your full being and going, here you go, just deal with it until I decide to get up because there ain't no way you're moving me. But the moment he threw the arm at the fan, WWE probably thought, what if that guy had leaned forward at the wrong time? There goes, you break his nose and you shatter it. Now we're on the hook because now either three things are going to happen. He sues us. He's getting free admission for a life, or worse, you cause a riot because a wrestler just assaulted a fan and now everybody and their grandma is going to come to that guy's defense. And now we've got security, referees, talent, literally in a brawl with the crowd. And it's televised or it's being filmed. All really, really bad. I think firing him, and I know he's a friend of the show, but when you look at the context, he should have known better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. What did you think about this, James?
I mean, I feel like I'm sort of, not to bow out of it, but I feel a little like I'm almost unqualified in a way of like, that feels like it's like in the gray area where I wanted to hear from someone like Mr. Blood, like that has been in the ring in that way. Like, I don't know. It's like feels, I mean, I don't know. It's hard. The guy's literally wearing a mask that gets elbowed, so you can't even see his face, like how it felt to him. But, you know, if it's a crime, then it doesn't matter how the person felt, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe this person who's a friend of the show and stuff, maybe I don't know, maybe you got to think, okay, now this is a company that's owned by WWE, but it's a hard time. I mean, I don't know enough, but it's a hard time for everyone because now, you know, these things that are at house shows, things just blow up. Like, you know, it's an interesting world for everyone. Everyone's like learning a lot, I think, or everyone's having to navigate the world in a pretty interesting way nowadays, you know, with there's nothing I'm not going to say anything not cliched, you know what I mean.
But you make a fair point. You have to be so careful now. There's a camera everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Someone is looking to make money off of you, views off of you, clout off of you, ruin your career. They're having a bad day. They want you to feel as bad as they do. People do just because they like to watch the world burn. The point is, you got to be smarter, especially when you're in a position of you are a public figure and you are in the center of a room filled with hundreds of people who have their eyes on you. You need to be careful. And here's something a lot of people don't realize. Maybe everybody's having fun. Here's the thing. A lot of people in the audience probably could have thought that guy, because he's in a mask, he's in a jumpsuit, he's a plant. He's a developmental talent that's maybe starting an angle with the guy because the guy's sitting there so long. Oh, guy puts him in my face, back elbow. We're going to start a feud, or we're going to start a run-in because he's in a mask. He's sitting in the front row. That's what WWE does all the time when they want to bring someone up into the stage now. It's a plant. It looks like, I mean, Straight Edge Society. He pulled that one girl, Serena or Selena, that wrestler, out of the crowd, shaved her head live on TV. Turned out she was in developmental for 2 years with the company. She wasn't actually wrestling. So you run that confusion too, and then lo and behold, you realize, oh crap, it's like the Psycho Stu incident. Psycho Stu thought that Raja Jackson,
did you hear about that, James?
He thought Raja Jackson was literally a worker. So he did a worked beer can shot on him backstage on stream. Raja wasn't a performer. He was a guest celebrity there. Took it for real, took matters in his hands, and winds up assaulting Psycho Stu in the ring later that evening because he got embarrassed on live stream.
Probably a good thing you didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. But that's what it's about. But that's what it comes down to. Unless you're doing your due diligence, stick to the script, stick to the plan, stick to the spots, engage with the audience, don't touch them unless you're slapping fives or dapping up.
Yep. WrestleMania's coming up, James. Do you see yourself going this year?
Oh God, I mean, I already live in New York, so I'm going to add up the obviously memed ticket prices with the price of a flight to Las Vegas. I don't think it's possible.
Well, and my $800 plane ticket,
and my potential proclivity to lose more money once I get to the city where the event is being held. All of it's pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all pretty. I don't know.
Like craps, James.
I think I would have gone. You know what? I had in the back of my head, like if I get some audition or something go amazing. 2 months ago, my thing was like, maybe something really cool is going to happen, and I'm going to have like this fun little amount of something and be like, that's a perfect thing to use it on. It didn't go that way. And my apartment is so hot in the living room because they just have it's an old building where they just have heat, no thermostat, that I think I've blown my whole budget on my AC that's in my room anyway. So I don't
priorities, bro. Priorities.
It's not in the cards, man. I'm gonna be watching it every moment of it.
I mean,
TV.
it's literally a whole down payment on a house to go to WrestleMania now. Like it's literally like I live in Florida on the coast where Kennedy Space Center is. So I live in Melbourne, Florida, literally like A1A, like the ocean is 2 miles that way. And after that, it's Europe. Like literally. So I'm like, and I went to Vegas 2 years ago. And thank God it was on a company dime for someone I used to represent for a marketing team with. But you're talking like an $800 flight. Then you're talking like $3,000, $4,000 for 3-4 days at a hotel. And you're not nowhere near the stadium. Then you're talking about travel to and from. Then you're talking about both night seats that start at like fucking what, like $800 a person. And that's for way the hell up before food and travel back. Like, why don't I just buy a car? You know,
well, I did read that the tickets went down for WrestleMania. Surprisingly,
I bet they did.
Yeah,
price.
I don't know how much lower. I haven't looked into it, but
10%.
So, do you think our boy CM Punk, he's gonna pull off the big one this year, James?
You know what? I've been thinking about this because the more I was thinking about this podcast that I was like, okay, well, when it's going to happen, it's actually going to be close enough to WrestleMania. We've gotten to this point where you finally start. I usually don't think too much about what the result will be consciously until a little bit closer, but we're kind of getting there. You know what? This is what I'm going to say about it. Can I say what I think about the last couple months of CM Punk, like to explain what I mean, if that's all right? Because this is my favorite.
To your heart's content, James.
This is my guy. This is my favorite. This is my favorite guy in the world, CM Punk. You know, he's my
he
hero.
Just got Mr. Blood started. That's his favorite too.
This is my only action figure, by the way.
Oh man, I have an action figure collection worth $10,000.
Oh my god. Oh, that's so cool.
The only AEW figure release they ever made of him, and it came out after he was already fired.
Oh, that's gonna be worth $1 billion if you're ever on.
Once I get an autograph, but too bad WrestleCon's in Louisiana.
No, so this is what I was thinking about because I wanted to have something to say about it other than that I like him, which is just so true.
Tell us everything you're thinking, James.
So,
please.
Okay, if you'll let me. So, when I first got into wrestling, I actually think I was sort of in an amazing time to first like it, even though I basically got into it because of my age, right when he was 300 days into his championship reign. And, during the first month or so of not understanding kayfabe, whatever, I was basically, like, as any sane person would be, under the impression that John Cena was the only, like, moral person in this company of, like, some of the worst, most psychopathic, like, criminals, like, ever, And so for that month or so, John Cena was, like, my favorite because I was like, what's happening to him is horrible. Anyway, but then, and I didn't really like CM Punk because he was bad. And then, but I remember, like, that I had this weird dissonance going on in my mind that was kind of, it was like what started happening is, like, his theme song started getting stuck in my head instead of all the other ones. And I kind of kept looking at him and being like, he's so weird. You know what I mean? This is I hope I'm explaining this well, but something about him it just kept, like, sticking with me. And the older I got, the more I went back to realize it might not have been a coincidence that the one time I took 3 or 4 years off was pretty much right after he left World Wrestling Entertainment. And, he's someone that, like, I just love him. He's just one of my favorite guys. He's always, of course, I've had a pretty, like, fortunate life in a lot of obvious ways, but he has this sort of chip on his shoulder that is just, I've always felt a connection with, whether I should feel that or not, but I do. Anyway, so I was thinking about his last 8 months, or I guess it's been just as long now that he's been in WWE as AEW, but first and I hope I'm not getting boring yet. You guys jump in whenever. First he came back and he beat Gunther. That was so awesome. He got cashed in on super upset, but it was a good move, you know, like with gritted teeth. I'm like, okay, that's a big spot. You know what I mean? Like they did it. You can't, sometimes you got to admit it. But then, but then, you know, now he's just still there and he's like protected enough, but he doesn't have a belt, whatever. And I'm like, okay, I know it's nice that he's happy there, but I don't know for sure what they're really doing. And then even when he won the belt off of Jay, it didn't feel the same as another thing because, you know, it was because Seth was injured. So there was something like not missing. I don't mean this about him or anything, but there was like, you know, a speck of like heat or something about this. Like it felt like it just was happening so perfectly that it was almost too good to be. Do you know what I mean? And then finally, when I watched him enter at the chamber, I was like, it's real. And not just it's real, but he actually really did it. Like I felt that it was over just 2 or 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks or a month, it's actually, he sort of reached a slightly different level in what I consider to be like the meta power rankings that are really always going on within this made up competition. Like, and I was like, something else happened, I think, where I'm like, oh, he really made it, if that makes sense. So the minute that Roman wins the Rumble, I'm like, he's going to beat CM Punk. And probably he still will. It's Roman. But for some reason, over the last couple weeks, I've started to think like that this title reign, it's started to feel different than it did before. I wonder if what you guys think about that.
You hit the nail on the head. And I'll tell you why, because I've been a CM Punk fan since the ROH days. What it is the first big reign he had with the 300+ day reign, which was the longest reign in modern history at the time since Bruno Sammartino. And when he left WWE, they had Brock Lesnar beat it as quick as they could to knock his reign out of the history books. They were very petty about it. And Brock's reign stood until Roman passed the 1,300 days. The problem is his first title reign, he played second fiddle to everybody in his own stories. He never felt like the guy, the champion, because he was always standing behind who? John Cena and The Rock. Constantly. It was always him being the supporting character in his own movie. And when it came down to it, this felt different because Seth is gone, right? Or was. Roman part-times. John Cena fully retired. AJ retired. Randy Orton, different show. Cody Rhodes, different show. He really does finally feel like the champion he was always meant to be, the guy, the reliable one on the show that people paid to see. He's got a fucking video game that is paused on my TV that he is the fucking cover star of, that the showcase is based around. He is finally, in his own words, the guy on the t-shirts, on the ad prints, on the marquees, the
even
collector's cups, you guys shake in my face. Exactly. This feels different because he's finally having high-profile defenses, feuds, and matches that really feel like they have extremely high stakes. Not just, hey, let's have him drop it to The Rock at the Royal Rumble randomly so we can make John Cena and The Rock's feud bigger that didn't need the title. It's finally him being where he should have been. So when you say you feel like he made it, you're right, because this is the first world title reign he's ever had in the company ever. And he's had several where he actually felt like the fucking guy they hitched the fucking horse to or the wagon to. He feels like the CM Punk he never got the chance to be. You are so right, James. What do you think, Edgar?
I, for one, would like to see CM Punk win at WrestleMania because, I mean, think about it. The World Heavyweight title was brought back because one of the reasons was Roman was an undisputed champion and he was never there. He was part-time champion, right? So let's bring back this world championship to have a fighting champion who's not like Roman Reigns. So what? Now Roman Reigns is going to come in and take that belt and then run off with it to Hollywood or whatever? Like, come on, bro. And plus, like, imagine what that would mean for, the CM Punk fans who, like you guys, who have seen him all, since Ring of Honor, to finally main event WrestleMania again, right? And actually defeat Roman Reigns of all people, successfully retain. I think it has to be Punk.
I want it to be Punk because I not just because I know Roman's going to part-time the hell out of that title, but because I desperately want to finally say and shove it down the rest of the IWC's fucking throats. My guy, CM Punk, officially main evented WrestleMania as the last match on the weekend card, not just night one, and he won the goddamn thing. I want that so bad so I can put it down their smug fucking throats in the comment section, but also because I want to cry tears of joy at the end of WrestleMania. I want it so badly. It's a cry that I need as a man,
Absolutely. I just worry that the minute that if and when Roman just pins him, I'm just gonna be like, oh, why did I ever think that wouldn't happen? Like,
fair.
I do think it's hard to conceive of him winning completely without anything interesting happening. Like, and I actually, by the way, I don't have an issue with Roman Reigns at all. I just like CM Punk the best. He's just my guy.
100%.
But I wonder, I do think it's a little hard to imagine having him just having if he wins, having it just be a straight up result, like a little
clean,
bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just makes sense. It's also
I get
the main event.
Protection of him.
It's the main event. You need some pomp and circumstance.
The classic take, right, that I'm seeing going around, I'm sure you guys are too, is the idea that The Rock will interfere.
Oh,
accidentally or not accidentally cost Roman the match to set up, The Rock versus Roman next year, maybe. And
I haven't seen that one yet.
That'll never really happen. I'm like, of course.
Sounds interesting.
I mean,
but now that you say, I'm pretty sure it's going to pop up on my timeline every 5 minutes.
Your phone can hear you.
You know what it is though? The Rock. If Roman does win, The Rock interferes and attacks Punk. Why? Because of the feud they had years ago. And two, hey, that's for my cousin or uncle or whatever, or is I don't even know what would The Rock's relationship be to Sika? But the God, the bloodline is crazy.
Nephew, I think.
Is he the nephew? Okay. Yeah. So but how crazy would that be? Like, keep my bloodline out of your fucking mouth. Like straight, like it would be so dope. Do I need to see The Rock wrestle? No. Would I still want to watch the hell out of it? Absolutely. But I think you're right, man. Like you just don't want to be like, of course Roman won, because also if you keep your expectation low, you get to jump out of your seat if Punk wins.
I'm a Mets fan, so I'm always trying to think the worst is going to happen to deal with it,
Hey, that's fair.
Prepare for the worst.
Hope for the best.
But yeah, man, maybe if I give the writers the benefit of that they're awesome, then maybe that means that since it seems too obvious that Roman will win, that it will be more weirder than that, and which is great.
Yeah, I want shenanigans in the main event. I want it.
I kind of do too.
Like, it doesn't have to be WrestleMania 40, the Avengers Endgame, which was the coolest shit ever, by the way. Best ending to a Mania, period. But like, I want like they're cooking with this stuff with the Usos too. Where's that going to go? What's that going to be? How's that going to factor in? What about Cody? Seth, who swears up and down, not only is it Punk, he swore he would never let be champion as long as he's breathing, is champion right now. And though he's focused on the vision, Punk is the guy main eventing that he stopped last year. He stopped them both. How does Seth fit into that? Oh my God, 5 weeks can't come fast enough. I can't wait.
Are there any other WrestleMania matches you guys predict that they haven't announced yet or that you're excited about? I mean, there's Cody Randy, of course.
Snug, you go first.
So when it comes to Cody and Randy, I want to see Randy win it so he can say, what is it? If he
15.
wins it, he's 16?
15.
15. And plus, we've seen Cody hold that championship millions of times, it feels like. So let's give it to Randy one time.
I want it to push Cody off the deep end. I need one of them to turn heel on the other. I want to see what that emotional storytelling looks like. They have such a history. I want to know what that story looks like, because we've been craving as fans a story that is as deep, as intricate, as emotional, and as addictive as the Bloodline's original first 4.5 years were. It feels like since WrestleMania 40, fans have just been clamoring for something to even somewhat come close to it, and we haven't had anything. That could be the potential one. And I am hyped for it. I need Cody to lose because I need it to put that chip on his shoulder, and I need it to eat at him. And either he turns and does something horrible, or he doesn't turn, but Randy somehow, some way, does. I'm looking forward to that. But also, as much as I can't stand the motherfucker, Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi, it's on my mind a lot. I really want to see Oba versus Brock, and they better let Oba win. And then I guess the last one I have is, wow, man, Dominic versus Finn. Hell yeah, let's see it. Finn, let him bury this shit and get back.
Although that one hasn't been made official yet either, has it?
No, but it will be. We just got to figure out if the IC title is going to get taken off of Penta and put back on Dom for them to feud over it at Mania or something. But I don't know, James. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling about that? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, in that would be great, but I think Finn would have to win, right? He would probably need it more. I think it would be good for him. I think a lot of people would be excited for him to. Everyone says, which is true, that it'd be great for him to have a big singles run again, which I think is so true. I wonder where he'd fit in. Like, if he went singles, would that be fair to say then that we could choose whatever brand? Like, he wouldn't need to stay on the same show.
No, he wouldn't have to.
But it might even be better if he settled something with Dom to not be every night in the same locker room as like the Judgment Day or something. So maybe it'd be cool if he switched. I don't know. I wonder if everyone wants that, like where what you'd like to who you'd want to see him work with and stuff. Then
I definitely think Dom has a lot of unfinished business in AAA with that mega championship. I think Finn is so raw coded. To me, Finn has always been the most underrated guy on the roster. He got injured once. Vince got cold feet. Never gave him a chance.
I can hear you guys. I'm just standing for a second.
Yeah, Vince never gave him the chance again. And to see Finn get vindicated at Mania would be everything. But I would love if Finn stayed on Raw and they moved him up into the either make like screw upper mid card. I'm calling it. Put him in the main event scene because he fucking deserves it. He doesn't just earn it. The man deserves it. Okay. He's been very loyal to this company that have kept him down for a long time. I think it's time Finn got his due. And I wouldn't be mad if he got a third match against Punk at somewhere down the line this year if Punk's still champ. Let him take it off Punk. What a star-making moment, vindication, full circle. I would absolutely eat that up.
I wouldn't mind seeing him go to SmackDown either, but whichever brand, if they were to move in brands, I just want him to stay in that main event title picture scene, I think that's where he should be. So whether if he stays on Raw or, if he goes over to SmackDown, I mean, either brand would be good for me as long as he's up there. I feel like,
I think he's definitely a benefit to the main event because sometimes it feels so stale. I mean, just imagine the stories you could tell with him. Run it back with Braun Breaker like they did a couple years ago over the IC title. You could have him feud run it back with him and Roman. to make up for the feud where the turnbuckle snapped on him. Have him go up, have him reignite his feud with Seth. Like, I mean, that would be great. There's so many things you could do with him, but the man was meant to be a star. His presentation's off the charts. He deserves it.
You know what's crazy too that they're doing with Dom this weekend in AAA is they're doing this thing for the AAA Mega Championship where if Vikingo loses, then he loses his hair.
Oh,
but
shit.
if Dom loses, then he leaves AAA for good.
Oh, I smell a Finn Balor interference.
Ah, shit. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's very possible.
I mean, they jumped the freaking shit out of him on Raw. If it's me, I will pay the price of airfare to go down there and get my get back. Because I cost you the title and you got to leave AAA forever, so you can't run for me to a different company. Oh, now I really got your attention for Mania. I bet that's what sets up their Mania match.
Yeah, maybe, dude. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. This weekend's going to be dope.
This should have been Vikingo's hair versus Dom's mustache.
No, they added something else. They added something like besides Vikingo's hair, it's like
sorry, dudes.
All good, James. It's like Vikingo doesn't get to challenge for the AAA Mega Championship as long as Dom holds it still.
Oh, so, okay.
It's like it's going to be crazy. This weekend's going to be crazy, but
I don't know, James. How do you feel about that? Would you like to see Finn in the main event is one question. And two, this thing with Dom and Vikingo, their stipulation for AAA, if Vikingo loses, he can't challenge for the title again while Dom is champion, and he loses his hair. But if Dom loses, he's done with the title, but his ass is gone from AAA for good, which I think if Finn costs Dom that match, it sets them up for WrestleMania. How do you feel? What do you think?
I think that's a good idea because I don't know. Because I've always wondered how much the WWE wanted Dom to stay in AAA. Like, I always thought they wanted to do that, but that maybe I think that timing wise, eventually they probably want him to be a real top American TV star, right? That's the sense I get with Dom. And I mean, he's an awesome guy. So I don't know. I think maybe, I think that's I think that idea is better than having Vikingo shave his hair for whatever reason and lose when he's so perfect staying in AAA and being their top guy, right?
Yeah, makes sense, dude.
Sorry if that wasn't controversial enough, but I think it was.
No, it's not about controversy. It's honesty is what we're looking for, and that's perfect.
Because I mean, he would need it more. Because I don't know, like you guys watch AAA more, but is Vikingo like? He's one of their biggest guys, right? But do you think he'd be a good WWE guy, or do you think he's so great there that it's better having him?
I feel like
make
WWE
a Rumble appearance.
I definitely feel like main roster, and this is going to be something people aren't going to like, but they'll probably understand it when I say it. I definitely feel like main roster would water him down. I feel like in AAA, he gets to stand on his own. I think the moment you bring him to main roster, you run the risk of death by comparison. Oh, well, we like Vikingo, but he's not as cool as Penta. Oh, he's not as big a star as Rey Mysterio. Oh, well, you know, he comes over and he gets all this, but what about Rey Fenix? And then you're going to have all the fans who will, because main roster fans are the worst when it comes to being just absolutely unfair in their, you know, they don't think like business wise, they think emotionally, well, this guy sucks because he's getting more than that guy, and I like that guy, so this guy's automatically bad. And I feel like if you put Vikingo up there, he's gonna get the comparison to all the other luchador that are up there, and they're not gonna give him the due. And then they're gonna go, well, he's nothing in WWE because you got Punk and Rollins and Drew and Seth and Roman. Then over in AAA, he is way the hell up here.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When it comes to Vikingo, he's the biggest heel in AAA right now. He has a lot of heat. For probably not like the best reasons. There's some real stuff that had to do with like Alberto Del Rio getting fired or whatever. A lot of fans blame Hijo del Vikingo for that reason, so that's why he's like one of the major heels in the company. But when AAA bought WWE, I mean when WWE bought AAA, they signed a few AAA guys to WWE contracts, one of them being Hijo del Vikingo. So he's technically a WWE talent, and he can be used anytime in the main roster. And there's also been rumors recently going around that Vikingo is going to make that jump. He's going to be called up to the main roster pretty soon. So we might see Vikingo on Raw or SmackDown.
Well, I hope they give him
soon,
I really hope they give him the same treatment they gave Penta, because Penta was over with the crowd damn near night one. What an amazing debut match.
I see this happening maybe after WrestleMania, because after WrestleMania is when they start to shake things up again.
Yeah, like a really fun Raw after WrestleMania, like debut, like that
how would you? Awesome. Yeah, how would you guys feel about? I want you both to answer this one. How would you feel about? And I know you may not know a lot about Vikingo, James, but I imagine you've at least seen him a couple times. How would you feel about his first main roster feud, Penta versus Vikingo?
Sounds dope, right?
I think that'd be insane. Awesome. Mega heel versus mega face. Yeah.
People love Penta. He's doing so great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, new IC champion.
Yeah, he had a great promo too. That would be awesome. I don't know as much about it as you guys, but that would say.
Penta is so good. He's one of those few guys that, you look at and you go, oh, he came from a different company, but you look at the guy, you listen to the guy, you watch the guy, and you go, this guy is a fucking star.
Well, I got one more question for you, James, before we get up out of here, because we went over a little bit of our time, but it's cool. We're glad that you're here with us, hanging out with us, and things are being cool about it, man. So you mentioned, you're being cool with Chris Hero. Is there any other like wrestler that you've met that you were like felt like starstruck? You're like, oh my god, this is so cool. I got to meet this person.
Yeah. I got to meet Toni Storm, which was so awesome. I mean, besides Punk, she's probably my favorite wrestler in the world. She was so nice. I'm usually good at I guess meeting, like I'm usually good at trying to be chill or like still seem funny or nice to people that I would be nervous to see. With her, I was pretty nervous to meet her actually, and she was so sweet, so awesome. Everyone at AEW that I got to meet was so kind. But I will say, when I was a kid, I went to WrestleMania 29 at MetLife in New York. And I met Triple H with my friend Axel, who's my roommate. He's in the other room. And dude, something about how he's a man, I guess, like whatever, like, and Tony is at least not so much taller than me or something. I don't know. I was really scared because I think when you see them on TV, it's like you get the idea that the Big Show is really tall and the other ones are more average height, like, or, like in TV or what, we proportionalize people's heights. So you forget, like, and because it's not the UFC or something, and you've never seen him really beat someone up too much. But dude, I was like 12 years old. I was probably hitting like 4'11" going into 9th grade. And I was just terrified. I mean, he couldn't have been nicer, but I was too scared to speak or say anything. He's just a big dude. So that's my funny one. I didn't get to make anything good out of the moment because I was just like,
I've met a lot of wrestlers. But probably the one that stands out the most is when I met Big Show. And you brought up Big Show, and
is he tall?
I didn't know human beings grew like that. I didn't know God was like, you'll be average height. You'll be average height. I'm going to make you a fucking gorilla. You'll be average height. You'll be like, dude, when I first met him, God, what year? 15-ish, 16 years ago at Universal Studios. And I like, as you walk from a distance, he's already tall, right? walking up to him. It was like walking up. It was like walking up to a building, and the closer you get, the harder it is to see your peripheral. When I got about from like here and like 2 feet out, I legit was like, "Oh my God, Mr. White, it's so." Can I shake your? And I'm looking, and I'm legit like chin up, like someone fucking like hit me so hard. I was looking at the clouds when I shook this man's hand, bro. Because I was live in 2008 at WrestleMania in Orlando when he went up against Mayweather. And one thing that always stood out to me about that build was when he balled his fist up and held it next to Mayweather's head. And his fist's freaking height was the same height as Mayweather's head. So when I met him and I went to shake his hand, this dude, I swear to God, I went and tried to get it. I grabbed one of his fingers, and it was almost like it almost filled up the inside of my hand. And I legit thought, I legit had a thought that went, it's a good thing this guy is nice. If I owed this guy money, oh my fucking God. Like, it's the coolest, most terrifying experience is shaking the hand of someone that massive and going, wow, it's great to not be on this guy's bad side. Like, coolest thing ever. Terrifying. He's not just tall. He's big. Massive. Humanity. You know, he has a reinforced toilet because he when he used to be 500 pounds, his house had to be customized for him. He had a Hummer that they had to extend for him to fit. But they did a cribs video with him and his wife years ago. They had to reinforce his bed when they built it custom. They reinforced his toilet to hold up his frame. Holy, that's terrifying. Like, and his wife's only 5'8". So I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Gotta climb a ladder to give him a kiss. Like,
yeah, well,
incredible.
James, man, it was so much fun to have you on tonight, bro, man, and hear from you.
My pleasure.
Hear from your wrestling experiences, your favorite wrestlers, your predictions, and all that stuff, man. You're officially a friend of the show, man. You're welcome back whenever you have time, man. We'll love to have you.
Beautiful.
And now that you're a Punk fan.
I'd love that.
Now that I know you're a Punk fan.
Dude, I have I'll show you real quick before I go. I bought one of those like fake vintage shirts where it's like Punk like doing like this, you know, and I turned it into a muscle tee. It's my favorite gym shirt.
Oh,
nice.
Bro, that's sick.
I'll leave you with this. Dude, it was such a pleasure to be on with you guys. Really, I mean, so cool. I hope I did okay.
Pleasure is ours, James.
I'm not well versed in the way of doing this, so.
No, it's we love it because it's not so formal. It feels like three guys hanging out talking about something they all have in common, and that's what we love about our podcast. That's what's been so great about having you on. It's not like stressful or anything. It's just, hey man, tell us about what you love about wrestling. So it's been amazing having you on here. And again, like Edgar said, you're welcome anytime. You're fantastic. Is there anything else you want to tell us about? Anything coming up that you need to plug or anything?
No, I wish I had something more to plug right now. I don't. Maybe I'll come back and I'll plug something. I wish I had more stuff to plug. Then I'd go to WrestleMania in Vegas.
You are always a friend of the channel. Yes.
Dude,
you're always a friend of the channel, man.
Hello, IWC right, as well.
Yeah, well, that was James Broderick here with the Snug Wrestling. My name is Edgar. I'm the host, and Mr. Blood, let's get up out of here, bro.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us here on Snug Wrestling. If you love hanging out with us, you can kick it with us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after Raw, NXT, and SmackDown go off the air, respectively, for post-show reviews, and Thursdays on TikTok Live, generally for random or relevant 1-hour wrestling streams where myself, Mr. Blood, go one-on-one with the head of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, to answer your fan questions live and go over those exact same topics. And, of course, if you guys love our podcast, you can hang out with us on Apple and Spotify if you miss those live shows, which do go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram every single week. So guys, until next time, it's been amazing. That was James Wilkie Broderick. Great guest. Awesome to have you. And guys, until next time, I said stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug.